I didn't know which number. It's not like, I think, is it a 928 number? It's 928. Yeah. No, I'm hungry. No? No. I'm hungry. You don't think so? I know it's freezing in here. I'll say something to the board.
What's the deal with June 1st? Yeah, the other three witnesses.
They're gonna do their witnesses. I don't know who they're gonna call. Which one is this? Is it February 2nd or is this one? That's February 2nd.
I'm good with numbers, that's it. The injunction.
Okay.
She's just trying to tell you. Do you understand?
I'm wondering if that's something new quickly? Is it one nearby?
Yeah, I know, our way, go down the hall and turn to your left. Security will show you. There's only one bathroom in here. Right when you come in through the door.
Did you have this for her earlier?
Excuse me?
Did you have this for her earlier?
Nope, I don't.
I was like, she just picked that up.
Are you guys cold?
It's cold in here, but it's keeping me awake, so.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yes.
I don't need the fan.
Remember I said that probably?
You said it could get hot. I'm like, I think we should put a sweater on.
Yeah. I'm the cold one now, but after I run the AC.
Oh. I don't know what you do. Sure. I don't know where to go.
I don't know if it's going down over there. Are you guys freezing?
No, it's fine.
Okay, you guys are fine, that's the cold side over here. Yeah.
They're saying that it's blowing, you can feel it blowing.
Who are you calling next?
That's everything else.
I know you have listed a couple of people, I believe Dewey Schroeder was there on 11, but
Yeah.
I want to
I'm sure that's relevant to
That way I can,
sitting is, just making sure that the witnesses are going to be testifying about limited to the instance listed, because I'm like, Schroeder maybe was there on the 11th. And there are 30 people on the 16th, but.
I don't think any other witnesses were there. I mean,
Schroeder.
February 11th.
February 11th, my understanding is Ms. Schroeder, one way, I'll let Ms.
Just to let you.
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I think all the others are 16.
All rise, please, for the Honorable Judge Rummer.
Please be seated.
Mr. Thomas, if we take another recess, it doesn't mean 10 minutes plus your time to take a potty break, it means 10 minutes. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on the record, all parties present, council is present. Mr. Coughlin.
Yes, sir. Plaintiff calls Chris Dragon.
Chris Dragon.
Your earphones, OFF.
Doing that now.
Not buzz, not vibrate.
Yep, off, all the way, sir.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Mr. Coughlin.
Mr. Dragon, would you state your name and address, please?
Chris Dragon, 1336 South Gladstone Avenue, Dewey.
So it's Dragon, not Dragon.
Dragon.
Dragon,
Yes. I go by Andy.
And how long have you lived at that address?
3 years, 4 months,
And before that?
California.
So, do you hold any, what's your occupation?
I do a compensation manager for Wells Fargo.
All right. And what does that mean?
I'm an HR, basically. I get people paid,
Okay.
hire people, things like that.
And so you're currently employed by Wells Fargo in this area as compensation manager?
I'm a remote worker.
Okay.
I have a national footprint I serve.
Do you have any, do you serve in any public capacity in this area?
No, sir.
Do you recall being in the Dewey-Humboldt Council building or parking lot in March of this year?
Yes.
Why were you there?
I was there submitting our applications or recall packets for city council.
And you mean for certain members of the council that you were seeking to recall?
Myself and Terry were there turning in our paperwork for the recall
All right.
petitions.
So you weren't on the council.
Correct.
You were just somebody that wanted to remove somebody that was on the council.
Correct.
All right. And so was there a time when you came into view of or saw the defendant in this case, Mrs. Cluff?
Yes.
And when, describe how that happened and the sequence of events.
If I recall, we were done pretty much close to finishing our paperwork, turning that in, and she was parked directly outside the door of the town hall. There's full windows on that wall, and I've seen that car before. And I made a comment to Terry, it says, I think Lee's outside.
So where had you seen the car before?
In my neighborhood.
Where is your neighborhood?
My neighborhood is in the foothills of Jeffery. I'm across the way from Mr. Thomas.
So you live in the same neighborhood as he does?
Correct, yes.
So when you say across the way, across the street or in a different?
She was above my property, so I'm on Gladstone. I actually sit below the street level, and she had been at the corner of Gladstone and Golden View, and then just above my property at the very end of the cul-de-sac.
Do you know when that was?
That was on February, I think it was on February 11th. I'm not mistaken, something like
And
that.
how did you know that it was her?
I knew the car from before. This has been an ongoing issue for people driving by ever since we started the recall conversations. So At the time, I was not aware, I just knew the car was out there for a prolonged period of time, and you sort of know who the looky-loos, people shopping for property, and the people who are just have no business being there, and you just get a sense about that, because most people just drive and go.
So you saw her car on that occasion.
Correct.
Did you know, how far away was her car from where
The
you?
car is I'd say about 100 feet above the property.
Could you see her in the car?
No.
All right. So then let's fast forward to March 16th in the City Hall, City Council building.
Mm-hmm.
You went in to file your petitions, right?
Correct.
Who else was with you?
Terry Shorter,
Just one person, Terry Schroeder?
the best of my recollection, yes.
When did you realize that Mrs. Cluff was parked outside in front of the front door?
Was towards the end of processing our paperwork. I'm going to back up here a little bit so you have context. So there's been a higher amount of traffic in the neighborhood to the point where I've actually went out and bought neighborhood watch signs, and we've collectively as a neighborhood now sort of notify each other when we have cars that are not in place, like just randomly parked there. It's not a place you would go normally. We're at the very end of the foothills. So nobody just goes up there and drives around like you're going to a supermarket. If you're up there, you're doing something, one way or the other. So there's been a heightened sense of awareness by me for the last several months to always look around. There's been conversations, there's been flyers in town about me and Terry and others about the recall going on. I have a heightened sense of awareness that I'm always looking at who's watching me.
Okay, so you had that heightened sense at this March 16th time when you went in to file the petition?
Yes.
And so when you said ever since this all began, what did you mean?
Well, back in December is when sort of the first trigger happened, that the council did not seem to be acting on the best interest of the citizens. And this had gone on over several periods of days. We had December 7th is when they had talked about firing the interim town manager. That actually didn't take place until, I believe, the February 1st meeting, February 2nd, something like that. And then we had a February 7th meeting as well.
So that was kind of the beginning of this process?
Yes, yeah.
And so when you said since this all began, that's kind of when you were referring to?
Correct.
And so by the time March 16th comes around, you had already had an awareness of Mrs. Cluff?
Yes.
Okay. And so
Since the incident in February.
Since the incident in February, but then again, March 16th, you're filing the petitions, and when you walked in the building to do that, was she parked in the parking lot?
No.
How long were you inside?
I want to say 20 to 30 minutes. It's sort of a lengthy process.
Now, you said something about the side of the building is all glass.
Correct.
Could you see when she did arrive?
No, because most of my time was spent talking to Beth and getting the paperwork, and we had to go through a number of iterations of the packets coming together and all that. So I just happened to turn around and going, oh, I know that car.
So you happened to turn around, you saw her through the glass?
Yes. Because it's literally right there at the door.
How many feet away?
The sidewalk's about 6 feet wide, I think.
Okay, so
When I'm in the building, another 4 feet, so 10 feet total.
10 feet, and could you see what she was doing in her car?
Yeah, she had a cell phone up on the steering wheel. If I recall, she was using both hands and just sitting there with that. And then-
Steady?
Yes.
All right. And then after 20 to 30 minutes, you left the building?
No, we had probably left the building about within 5 to 10 minutes after I noticed she was there, because we were pretty much done with our process, and then we walked out.
I see. Okay, so you walked out, and was she still doing what you observed her doing inside?
Yes, and literally using the phone to track me in a mannerism. In my interpretation, it was like, look at me looking at you. It wasn't like I'm trying to be, cautious or whatever. My interpretation, just the blatantness of it there, was I'm here videotaping you.
And so when you say she tracked you, did she move as you moved?
Yes, move the phone and the steering wheel, yes.
So let me give you my phone, just show the judge what it looked like when you saw her do that.
So the steering wheel was here in front of me, and as I walked to her past her driver's side door, sort of like this.
Okay. And then what did you do?
I walked around the car and indiscreetly snapped pictures to get saying, so I could document this. Here again is this car. And I had a picture of her inside it. I took a picture license plate to say, okay, I have verification that she was here.
Was this the same car that you saw on February 11th?
Correct, yes.
What did you then do?
I went down to the sheriff's substation, down the boardwalk there, and knocked on the door. I spoke to a deputy, and I says, there's a woman, I knew the name already, is filming us in the thing, and I don't know why we'd be doing that. And this has been, there's been an ongoing issue here with people in the neighborhood and whatnot. I'm not comfortable with this, or whatever I said at the time. And the deputies said he would take care of it.
And so you're not a public official?
No.
In any capacity?
No.
You're just a citizen that filed a petition for recall?
Correct.
Right. Now, on the February 11th incident, you said she was about 100 feet away?
100 feet above me, yes.
Above you, okay.
Yes.
Was she, and so where was your driveway located? Right to her car?
My property is sort of like a diamond shape, so if you think about it, it's a V from where we're at. My driveway's over here. She's above my property, directly dead center in my house.
Not at your driveway?
No, not.
Dead center on your house?
Correct, right above me, yes.
Were you concerned about the increased activity in your neighborhood?
Absolutely.
Were you concerned when you saw her car in your neighborhood?
Not at the time. This has escalated between this ongoing traffic and people, and we had somebody 2 weeks ago that came out there. There's somebody just out there again today that's been above the thing. Going to increase activity so much now that I'm getting a little concerned. And then I'm getting videotaped here in a public place for no reason. So my awareness and my concern is continuing to escalate here. There's verbal confrontations or conversations at the town hall, and just recently I had somebody here actually threaten to beat me up. So and this is all part of the collective people who are opposing the recall. Which muddies the water to this, but it all comes together that this is an ongoing escalating event.
Did you ever speak with Mrs. Cluff about her taking pictures of you?
No.
Did she ever call you or anything like that?
No.
After you went to the sheriff's office and you filed a complaint there?
I just let the deputy know that this was going on. I did not file a formal complaint.
And that was after the March 16th incident?
Correct.
No further questions.
Chapman,
Thank you.
no questions?
No, I do. I said thank you. I was just taking notes. Mr. Dragan, you just said you let the deputy know this was going on. What were you referring to that you let him know was going on?
Just what the issue of people coming in the neighborhood, and there's an aura going on here where us versus them. It's unfortunately a town divided right now, where between the public flyers that came out prior to this and this, what I'll call indirect harassment.
And with respect specifically to Ms. Cluff, you said you let the officers know that she was filming you in a public place, correct?
I said she was filming me outside the town hall.
Which is a public place.
Sure, yeah.
You never saw her on your private property at your home.
Correct.
How long have you lived at that home, sir?
3 years, 4 months.
You first became aware of her on February 11th when you said you saw her car at your home?
Correct, because we have a neighborhood watch program in place.
Prior to that, you hadn't seen her car in your neighborhood?
Not that I recall.
And since then, you haven't seen her car in your neighborhood?
I've personally not seen her car again.
You indicated that there was an increase in traffic in the neighborhood. And just to clarify, that increase in traffic is not Ms. Cluff that you are aware of.
That's correct.
You don't actually know who it is, if it's anybody.
Well, it's obviously somebody, the car's not driving itself.
There is Waymo these days.
True that.
Somebody threatened to beat you up. That was not Ms. Cluff, correct?
That's correct.
You said you had a verbal confrontation with somebody at town hall. That was not Ms. Cluff that you engaged in a verbal confrontation with,
That's
correct?
correct.
When you said on February 11th you saw her vehicle, you never actually saw Ms. Cluff that day in your
That's
vehicle?
correct. Her windows are tinted.
So you don't know if she was videoing or taking a picture on that day?
I do not know. She was there for a prolonged amount of time.
On March 16th, you don't know when Ms. Cluff got to town hall? Correct?
The actual time, no. I know it was definitely within 10 minutes before I left.
You know that at some point after you had arrived there, you saw Ms. Cluff sitting in her car in the public parking lot outside of town hall, correct?
Yes,
And she had her phone up on her steering wheel, correct?
correct.
You don't know if she was filming you or taking photographs, fair to say?
Fair to say, other than the mannerisms executed, yes.
The mannerisms you saw were her with her phone up, what you described
Yes.
as tracking.
Correct.
You said Ms. Schroeder was with you?
Correct.
Who else was there with you?
Beth Evans was serving us in the town capacity.
Mr. Thomas was there?
She a clerk there?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Thomas was also there? Correct?
I don't recall.
Do you remember speaking with Mr. Thomas on the 16th? Out in front of the town hall building?
Yes,
Mr. Blomgren? Remember him being there?
no,
What was the purpose of you said you were dropping off packets for the recall, correct?
correct.
You're aware? How long have you lived in Dewey-Humboldt?
3 years, 4 months.
Oh, that's right, you did say that.
Okay.
And during that time, you've become familiar that Ms. Cluff is actively involved in the politics of Dewey-Humboldt, correct?
Very much so.
And she has also participated in or been active with respect to different recalls, petition recalls, correct?
I'm not aware of that.
Are you aware that individuals can obtain public information by filing an information request at town hall?
Absolutely.
And you've done that in the past?
I have.
And you're
Me
aware,
personally, no, I've not done it personally.
you're aware Ms. Cluff has requested public records requests from town hall?
Apparently,
And that is where she was the day you saw her on March 16th at town hall, correct?
that's correct.
That would be the place where you would file a request for the records request. Fair to say?
Fair to say?
You stated that you
Wait a
followed.
minute, I heard conflicting testimony there, maybe I'm just, you did or did not ask for public information from the town hall?
I was not seeking public information. Her question
That's what I
was,
thought you said.
sorry.
On that day.
No, my purpose for being in town hall that day was to submit my recall packet to the town.
Have you ever, anytime, ever submitted a request for public information with regard to any individuals from town hall?
I have not personally, I had accompanied Terry Schroeder on one request for public
That
information.
is-
Thank you. And you went to town hall, that same location, with Ms. Schroeder to submit that request, correct?
On a different occasion, yes.
Never spoke to Ms. Cluff on February 11th?
No,
Never spoke to Ms. Cluff on March 16th?
no,
You indicated you took photographs of her inside her car discreetly?
that's correct.
Your Honor, do you have photos 6 through 11?
Yes,
May I approach the witness?
yes. Yes,
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I utilize the exhibits? Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
okay.
6 through 11, those 3 pages, thank you. Do you recognize these photographs?
Your Honor, I don't have copies of these.
Those are your photographs that you
Oh, I'm
submitted
sorry.
into evidence. Do you recognize these photographs?
I recognize 2 of them.
Were those taken by you?
You're the Mr. Coughlin there of a gold Honda.
I have to compare those pictures to what's in my phone. I recognize 2 pictures like that, yes.
So you're referring to photos 6 and 7?
This is not where she was parked at the time. This is in front of Town Hall. I don't know where this is parked at. This may be in front of Town Hall, but
Okay, you're referring to photos 6 and 7. You said she was parked in front of Town Hall. Were those the photographs that you took of her vehicle?
I don't know, those are the specific photos I took. I had to compare them to my phone.
Did you provide your photos to Mr. Thomas for this case?
I don't know. I can't recall. He may have had them from the incident when I informed him.
When you informed me,
Mr. Thomas, sorry.
Thomas, you
Yes.
said Coughlin.
I'm sorry. No, I said when I informed him, be Mr. Thomas.
You said the situation has elevated since the recall situation has come to light. When you say that things have elevated, again, despite an elevation in the political atmosphere, you've not had any conversation with Ms. Cluff, have you?
No.
And she has not engaged you in any inappropriate way, has she?
I think it's inappropriate to be filming these and being above my residence, and there's no need to be there.
You don't know what her purpose was for being there, do you?
I don't know what her purpose is now.
Okay. And you don't know if she was in fact filming you or something in the vicinity, do you?
Well, if I see a duck walk, I know it's a duck.
The
so if I
question
see
is,
somebody-
you didn't see her filming. You said you didn't see her, did you? You saw
I
her
saw
vehicle.
her on March 16th.
You saw her vehicle on the 11th, correct?
That's correct. I do not know what she was doing on the 11th.
I get the thrust of where you're going, Chapman.
I'm sorry?
I get the thrust of where you're going.
I don't have anything further, thank you, sir.
Coughlin?
Yes, Mr. Drake, these photos, 6 and 7, you didn't take them, right?
I don't know. They look similar to the photos I have in my phone. I don't know those are from me. I think mine were more skewed, so I don't think those are my photos. I can check my phone, but I can't turn it on the court.
Mr. Thomas testified earlier that he took these pictures on March 16th. Would you have any reason to disagree with him?
No.
And these pictures, 6 and 7, is that the location of Mrs. Cluff's vehicle when you came out of the building?
Well, if this is right in front of the door, then yes.
Do you see a door to the building in that?
I do, get right in front of the door, yes. So that would be.
We'll take judicial notice, that's the front of Town Hall.
And you were asked on cross-examination about the mannerism of Mrs. Cluff when you walked out the door.
Mhm.
That mannerism, as you testified earlier, was how she tracked you with her phone as you moved, correct?
Correct.
Did that action of tracking you as you moved look like she was there to file a public request for information?
No, sir.
No further questions.
If you have no questions, you may step down, Mr. Dragon, and you can stay in the courtroom.
Okay.
Mr. Coughlin?
Terry Schroeder, Your Honor?
Terry Schroeder, please.
Ms. Schroeder, raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Please be seated. Mr. Coughlin?
Mrs. Schroeder, would you please state your name and address for the record?
Terry Schroeder, 1425 South Golden View Drive in Dewey.
Golden View Drive, is that in the same neighborhood as Mr. Thomas lived?
Yes,
Have you ever met Mrs. Cluff, the defendant in this case? Have you ever seen her?
yes.
Where have you seen her?
At Town Hall
All right.
and driving around the neighborhood.
And when do you think you saw her driving around the neighborhood?
Mid-February, I think it was February 11th,
And what did you observe?
that she was driving slowly through the neighborhood. We live up on top of the hill, and we could see directly down Barry's Road, McCabe, and also the next street over. And she was driving very slowly down both, coming around, driving around, going down McCabe, coming back up.
Did you see her stop at any time?
Slow down very slow, yes.
Okay. And how did you know that it was her?
I knew, I was aware of her car, and I saw her license plate.
How far away from you was she at her closest?
I'm horrible with distance.
Well, it was close enough for you to see her license plate.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So, 100 yards?
What stood out about her license plate to you?
It's a disabled license plate.
Right. What color car was it?
Grayish gold, silverish gold colored car.
Had you seen it before?
Yes,
Before the 11th of February?
yes.
Where had you seen it before that?
Town hall.
I'm going to show you what's been admitted into evidence as as photograph number 6. Can you look at that and tell me if that's the same vehicle you're talking about?
Yes.
And so you had seen Mrs. Cluff at the town hall before this incident on February 11th.
Yes.
And what were the circumstances of the previous sighting?
When we submitted our, no, let's see, when was it? When we had gone in to submit forms and get forms for the recall election.
That's before you filed the petition though, right?
Yes.
So you went in, so how did you observe Mrs. Cluff at that time?
She was in her car in front of the town hall.
Where in front of the town hall?
Directly in front of the doors that go into the office.
Now, there was a time were you involved in filing a petition for recall?
Yes.
And that was, what's the date that you recall that occurred on?
I believe it was March 16th.
Okay, so the time when you, previously, before the February 11th, was not that time when you
Correct.
filed a petition. It was the time for gathering up information in order to file the petition?
Correct.
All right, so do you have a date?
No, I don't remember.
But it was before February 11th.
I believe so.
And when you went into the building for the purpose of getting the information that you needed to file your petition, was she parked in the parking lot?
Okay, I believe she came afterwards.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your answer. I
I believe she came after we went into the building.
Why do you believe that?
Because she wasn't there when we walked in.
Okay, so if she had been parked in her normal parking space,
Mm-hmm.
dead center on the front door, you would have noticed her?
Correct.
And so when you walked in, you don't think she had arrived yet, correct?
Correct.
How long did you spend inside?
Oh, I don't remember. Wasn't that long.
And when
15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
And when you were inside, were you able to see whether she was parked outside at any point in time?
Yes, you could turn around and look out the window.
Did you?
Yes,
So she had arrived.
yes,
Could you see her inside the vehicle?
yes.
Could you see what she was doing?
No.
Could you see her holding a cell phone?
Not the first time?
Right.
No.
All right. So you got your things done that you had to get done, and you walked out, right? And when you walked out, was she still there?
Yes.
And what was she doing?
Just sitting in her car facing the door.
All right. Did she have her cell phone?
The first time, I don't recall her having her cell phone.
The first time meaning?
The first time that I saw her outside of the town hall.
Okay. And when you came out the town hall, did you address her at all?
No.
And you didn't see what she was doing?
No.
And what did you do next?
Walked to my car and left.
All right. Do you know whether she followed you?
No.
All right. So now we go to past February 11th, and we're up to March 16th. What was the purpose for your being at town hall on March 16th?
We were there twice. First was to file our recall election signatures.
Okay. And what was the second?
Second was the town meeting that night.
All right, so let's take on the file recall signatures incident. That was earlier in the day.
Yes?
And when you arrived, was Mrs. Cluff parked in the parking lot?
No.
All right. Was there a time when you observed her parked in the parking lot?
Yes, when we were in filing our paperwork, I turned around and she had pulled up.
All right, now I'm going to show you this photograph number 6 again. And can you tell me what appears above, that's photo 6, what appears above the top of her car?
Above the top,
Yes.
the sign,
And what about,
that's the center, the entrance to the office at Town Hall.
all right. And then if you look at that photograph, can you describe to the judge on which side of that front door, the location you would have been in when you were filing your papers?
We were inside the office facing out.
Were out those windows?
Yes.
Facing out those windows?
Yes.
Okay. So while you were inside filing your recall signatures, you observed her, did you actually observe her pulling up and parking?
Yes,
All right. And what did you then next observe?
she was just sitting there.
All right.
Mhm.
And then how long do you think you spent inside?
Maybe a total of 20 minutes, half an hour at the very most.
Who was with you?
Chris Dragan.
Just Chris? All right. And then, so then you finished your business and you walked out front door? Yes?
Yes.
We have to say yes or no because
Yes.
the record can't record that. So, when you came out, she was parked there?
Yes.
And what did you observe?
That she was just looking at us exiting the town hall.
All right, and us meaning Chris
Chris
Dragan
and
and you?
myself, yes.
All right. Did you see Barry Thomas anywhere in the parking lot?
Not at that time, no.
Was there another time?
Yes.
When?
At the town hall meeting.
Later that day?
Later that day.
Okay. When you walked out with Chris, were you both going to the same location in the parking lot to get to your cars?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Did you see her holding up her cell phone?
Not the earlier in the afternoon, no.
All right. Did you talk with Chris about the fact that she was there?
Yes.
Did you see her clearly in her car?
Yes.
And did she have her driver's side window down or up?
I don't recall.
Right. But you could see her clearly enough to know it was her.
Yes.
Did you check the license plate on the back as you went
Yes.
by?
Yes.
Why?
Because I wanted to verify that it was her.
Do you reckon?
And my car was parked behind her.
Behind her in the parking, elsewhere in the parking lot?
Yes.
And then what did you do?
We got in our car. We discussed, I was alarmed that she was there again. And then got in my car to leave.
And so when you say she was there again, why did you say that?
Because she had been there earlier,
Earlier on that day? Okay.
earlier in February.
Right,
Mhm.
first time.
Yes.
And so your alarm was what?
I was concerned and alarmed that she would be there again watching us.
Now, do you serve in any public capacity in Dewey-Humboldt?
No.
You're not on the council?
No.
Um,
I'm a candidate.
You're a candidate?
Yes.
Okay. And so the process with the recall is that you recall certain people and then new candidates come in and they're voted in, right?
Correct.
So you want to be one of those people?
Yes, I do.
were alarmed that you had been photographed at one point in time.
Yes.
And what else alarmed you?
It just felt like, she was robbing me of my privacy and my ability to go in and out of town hall.
And what about the time when she drove through your neighborhood? Were you alarmed
I
then?
was alarmed then also.
And were you alarmed on the 16th when you filed your petition?
Yes.
Did you file an application for protection?
I did not, but I
Why?
seriously thought about it.
You did, okay. But why did you not do it?
Why did I not do it?
Yes.
Because I knew Barry was going to. Barry stated that he was, and my hope was that it would keep her away from town hall.
So once that injunction application had been issued by this court, how would you describe the drive-bys through the neighborhood?
I wasn't aware or witnessed anything after that point.
Did you ever see her come back into the neighborhood again?
No, I didn't.
No further questions, Jaque.
Ms. Chapman?
Thank you, Your Honor. Great. You said that you were familiar with Ms. Cluff because you had seen her at Town Hall prior to February 11th, correct?
Yes.
And that was at a time that she was in the public parking lot?
Yes.
Did you have any conversation with her at that time?
No.
You said you didn't notice if she was taking any photographs or filming
At the first time,
the
no.
first time. And you said you don't know what she was doing there, correct?
Correct.
Have you ever filed an information request yourself personally?
For public information
Public
requests
information
for
request.
records?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I have.
And when you do that, you turn that into Town Hall, correct?
Correct.
You indicated that you were filing, let me go back, on February 11th, let's stick with that. On that date, prior to February 11th, other than seeing Ms. Cluff in Town Hall, you had not seen her anywhere else, correct?
I believe I stated that I had seen her at Town Hall prior
At
to
Town
that.
Hall,
Yes.
then between Town Hall to pick up paperwork for the recall petitions, and February 11th, where you see her in your neighborhood, you don't have any contact with her, you don't see her, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall when you went to the Town Hall and saw her for the first time?
When I went and saw her, no, it must have been in February, first part of February.
Do you know if she had filed any public records request early February?
No, I do not.
Are you familiar with Ms. Cluff and her frequent requests for public records?
I am aware of that, yes.
And filing a public information request would be appropriate to go to Town Hall when you needed to do that.
I believe so, yes.
On the 11th, do you have a dog?
No.
And you indicated that you saw her car in the neighborhood driving back on, is it Golden View? Golden View. You said you saw her slow down, but you never saw her stop. Is that correct?
She may have stopped.
You testified earlier that she didn't stop, but she drove very slowly.
Very, very slowly.
So did she stop?
When I was looking, she drove very, very slowly.
And where did you first see her when you observed her on February 11th?
I was looking down McCabe, and she turned into McCabe.
I'm going to show you. Do you have exhibit tags, or do you want me just to write on the back of this?
Time?
Exhibit tags, do you want me to write on the back, or do you have stickers? I didn't have any stickers at the desk. May I approach?
Sure.
Thank you. I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 1. Do you recognize that flat map of Dewey-Humboldt area?
Yes, if I can. Yes,
Is that fair to say that that's a plot map of your neighborhood?
yes.
And Golden View that you were talking about is depicted on this plot map, is that correct?
Correct.
And then Gladstone,
Yes.
where were you when you first saw Ms. Cluff on February 11th?
On my deck, and I was looking west on to McCabe Circle.
I'm gonna give you this pen. If you could just put an X in the approximate location that you were when you saw her,
Where I was,
where you were. Yes, please. And when you first saw her, can you please draw a rectangle where you noticed her vehicle, or the first place you saw her?
Ms. Chapman, I hope you come back to this in some sort of relevant issue.
Absolutely will, Your Honor.
Okay.
So you drew the X on your property, and the rectangle is, where, would that be in front of somebody's house specifically, your house?
no, that's in front of my house.
Okay, where you first saw her. And when you first saw her, you said she was going down McCabe,
Yes, west on McCabe.
west on McCabe. Did you ever see her stop on McCabe?
I saw her drive very slowly.
And did you see if she was doing anything in her vehicle? Could you see inside her
No.
vehicle? You didn't speak with her that time?
No,
You said the next time you saw her was on March 16th at Town Hall. You said you were there twice that day?
correct.
The first time you indicated you were there earlier to file the recall petition, and when you arrived, she was not there. But when you left, she was.
Yes,
Then you said you went back to that town hall for the council meeting that night. Is that
Correct.
Isn't it true that on that date, town hall was still being conducted virtually due to COVID over Zoom?
on March 16th,
Yes, ma'am.
that I don't recall.
So if you indicated that you were there, but it was being held on Zoom, might you be mistaken for a different day that you saw her?
I know that we were, Chris and I were at Town Hall filing that, and that was the time when she arrived and was videotaping us. So it may have been the earlier one rather than the evening.
And you indicated that you were alarmed because she was there again.
Yes.
She was at town hall.
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
In a public place.
Yes.
And she had her phone out. Is that correct?
Correct.
You saw it?
Yes.
You don't know if she was filming or taking pictures or talking on the phone. Fair to say?
The actions that she was moving her phone left and right, which would, rather than stopping to take a picture, she was scanning.
So that's a speculation. You've not seen any video or photograph, correct?
Of her.
Correct. From Ms. Cluff.
No.
And you said it was concerning because it was robbing you of your privacy to go in and out of town hall. Are you the only person allowed to go in and out of town hall?
No.
And are you only allowed to go in and out of town hall when nobody else is around?
No.
So you think you have a right to privacy walking in and out of town hall?
I don't feel that I was, it's that someone can stalk you, is how I felt.
And your description of stalking is because you saw her with her phone out sitting in a
Yes.
parking lot at town hall?
Yes.
Okay. You never saw her come back into the neighborhood after February 11th?
I don't recall.
And you never saw her come back to the neighborhood after the March 16th situation at Town Hall, correct?
Correct.
You saw her once in your neighborhood.
Correct.
Did you have you ever had any conversation with Ms. Cluff?
No.
Did you not speak with her at the ice cream social on May 8th?
I don't recall. Oh, yes, actually, yes. She came up and introduced herself and said she didn't see our names on the RSVP list. I thanked us for being there.
I have nothing further, thank you.
No redirect.
You may step down and you may stay in the courtroom. Sure. Any more witnesses, Mr. Coughlin?
Jen Combs.
Jan
Combs.
Combs.
Jen, home, please.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Okay.
Is it Jan or Jen?
Jen, short for Jennifer.
Mr. Coughlin?
May I call you Jen?
Absolutely.
2 N's?
One.
1. Jen, would you say your name and address for the record?
Absolutely. Jennifer Combs, 656 Sugar Leaf Lane, Dewey, Arizona, 86327.
And where generally is that located?
Off of 169 in Clearview. So it's just past Foothill in 169.
All right, and you know where Barry Thomas lives?
I do.
So if you're driving west on 169, it's west, I don't know how it goes, but if you're driving in that direction towards Cherry, east, sorry.
You're in great company because I don't know either.
Or I'm in reverse, I'm not here. So you're driving east and you pass the foothills area where Barry Thomas lives to get to your house.
Correct.
How long have you lived there?
Going on 14 years.
All right. Are you in, what's your occupation?
I'm in retail. I don't honestly know what my title is. I'm part-time. I work at Kohl's.
Okay. And do you know Barry Thomas?
I do.
How do you know him?
Through town council, through the town of Dewey-Humboldt.
Do you serve in any public capacity for the town?
No.
Were you involved in any part of the recall process?
Yes, sir, I am.
What was your role?
I am doing a recall against Karen Brooks,
Okay.
and I'm actively putting in just all my paperwork to run.
All right. So you will be a candidate?
Yes, sir.
Do you know Mrs. Cluff, the defendant in this case?
I have seen Ms. Cluff just in town.
All right. On how many occasions do you think?
A handful, maybe. I don't know. I work in retail, so I see people a lot in the store, so.
All right. Now, was there a time when you went to the town hall to get the information necessary to file the petition for recall?
I did.
All right. Do you know when that was?
It was, I'm trying to find out because we went one time and had to get all the documents and then we went back and filed it all.
All right. So 2 different times.
2 different times.
The first time was to get the information you
Correct.
needed. And do you know when that was?
I don't know offhand, beginning of March timeframe
Okay. And the second time?
was March 16th.
Okay. So on the first occasion, did you see Mrs. Cluff?
No, I do not remember seeing her that day.
And who did you go with to do that?
On the first occasion, I went with my husband.
Just you and your husband?
Mhm.
Had you ever seen the car that Mrs. Cluff drives before that first incident?
I had.
What was the basis for that? What was the reason for that?
Ms. Cluff actually had been in the store and somehow they had dropped something into her bag, one of our handhelds, and she had called the store, so I had met her at the post office in Dewey to retrieve that from her.
I'm sorry, I didn't follow any of that.
So at our store, we have handheld devices that you can scan and do price changes and check quantities and all of that stuff. Somehow it had fallen into Ms. Cluff's bag, and she was kind enough to call the store and ask us how to get it back to us. And I had told them that I would gladly meet up with her, and I contacted Ms. Cluff and did so.
So you met her after that occasion. Do you know when that was?
Oh, I don't remember that now. It's been quite some time.
This year?
No, I believe it's been probably longer than that, 1.5 years, maybe 2 years.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So that happened.
That happened.
And so you knew who she was.
Yes,
And did you attend any of the town hall meetings?
yes.
And were they all by Zoom?
Until recently they were.
Till when?
It's been about a month or so we've been back in the actual setting.
Beginning of April or May?
Possibly beginning, I don't know, end of April, beginning of May.
Okay. And did you see Mrs. Cluff during any of those Zoom?
And the Zoom, yes, she was on Zoom with us.
All right. And so when these Zoom meetings happen, do you see multiple pictures on the computer of the people that are speaking, or is you just hear them?
You can see them, it just depends if they want to be on screen or not.
Was Mrs. Cluff on screen?
No, I believe it was just initials on her picture.
And you could hear her talk?
Yes,
Okay. So you knew who she was, you knew what her voice sounded like.
correct,
On March 16th, you went to the town hall to file the petition,
correct.
right? Who did you go with?
I actually went that time with Terry Schroeder and Chris Dragan.
Okay. And when you went in, did you see Mrs. Cluff's car parked in the parking lot?
No, I did not.
Was there a time during the inside work at the town hall when you did notice her car in the parking lot?
Yes.
Okay, how long after you went in did that occur?
You know, I would say 20, 30 minutes or so. I don't honestly know. We were busy doing paperwork and sometimes time just flies. I wasn't keeping a check on the clock. But we'd been there 20, 30 minutes or more working on papers.
And then were you inside when you first observed her?
Yes, I was.
Did you see her actually arrive?
No, I did not see her pull in.
A lot of windows in the front of the building there?
Yes,
The front doors are glass paned, correct?
they are. I don't know if they have blinds on them or not, if they were closed, but I could see out the windows.
So you could see out the windows and you saw her car.
Yes,
Did you see her?
I did.
What did you notice about her?
That she seemed to be videoing us from the car
Why did it seem like she was videoing?
because her phone was held up like this, like you would be watching somebody with your phone.
Give you my phone.
Yes, sir.
Just show everybody what she was doing.
Inside to the building,
Right at the building.
right at the building where we were.
Was the steering wheel in the way or
No, it was above the steering wheel.
above the steering wheel? Could you see her face?
I could.
Could you see if her lips were moving, talking as if she was talking?
I did not see if she was talking.
Okay.
I could see, but I never saw her talking. I'm sorry, let me clarify.
So you could see her, but you could not see her lips moving.
Correct.
So did she move the phone at all? Or did she hold it steady like you just showed us?
Well, she moved it slightly, but it was more steady and then a slight movement and then steady again.
All right. And then, did you tell anybody?
I did inform Terry Schroeder and Chris Dragan, she was out there.
Okay. And then after you finished filing your petitions, what did you do?
We ended up, once all the paperwork was done, we walked out of the building altogether. And I went with Terry Schroeder to the car to put all of our paperwork in the vehicle at that point.
All right. In Terry's vehicle?
Correct.
Okay. And what did you observe about Mrs. Cluff when you walked out the door?
She was still in the parking lot when we exited.
Was the phone still in her hand?
I don't remember where the phone was at that moment when we walked out the door. I was really just trying to get from the office to the car at that point.
All right. And then what happened next?
I went to go back towards the car and I had observed an issue between Chris Dragan and some photo being taken at that point.
What did you observe?
I just heard conversation and then Chris came and told us that there was a picture taken, he was gonna go talk to the sheriffs.
And did he say who the picture had been taken from?
By Ms. Cluff.
Did you see her taking the picture?
I did not.
Did you see her at any time other than when you were inside using her phone to capture activity on the outside?
I did not. I was back at the car.
Was Barry Thomas in the parking lot when you walked out?
Barry Thomas was coming out of one of the doors when we exited the main office.
All right, and how close proximity-wise was he to the car that Mrs. Cluff was in?
So I actually passed him as I was going to the car. So at the point when I went back over, he was near the car, but I don't know how far to the car he had gotten while I wasn't watching.
Do you know whether or not he was aware that she was photographing people or taking video?
I don't know.
All right, did he say anything to you?
There was something mentioned later that afternoon that she had taken pictures.
From him?
Correct.
And him, I mean Mr. Thomas?
Correct.
And so how did he seem when you passed him in the parking lot?
He seemed bothered by what was going on after all of it had happened.
Okay.
Prior to that, he just gotten out of a meeting with someone in town hall, so I didn't notice anything off.
No further questions?
Would you like your phone back?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if you need it or not.
Very good.
He doesn't, well, I'm sure he can't be too distracted by that.
I can show you a picture of my dog.
All right, Ms. Combs, you indicated that you were at Town Hall with Ms. Schroeder, Mr. Dragan, and Mr. Thomas on March 16th, and that you did in fact see Ms. Cluff in the parking lot.
That is correct.
Was she parked in a public spot?
She was parked directly in front of the doors.
Did it appear that she was trying to be sneaky or remain concealed so that people didn't see her?
No.
Could she have positioned herself somewhere else if she was trying to not be seen by
That's
anybody?
speculation.
Are there other parking spots in that parking lot that would be less visible to people standing in front of the town hall?
Is that a yes or no question?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Did you ever see Ms. Cluff engage in any conversation with anybody at town hall on the 16th of March?
I did not witness a conversation because I wasn't near her car at that point.
Did you leave before Ms. Cluff exited her vehicle?
I don't know if I did or not.
Did you see her leave the town hall parking lot?
Honestly, I don't know. I was just at the car. I wasn't out necessarily where I could see the car.
Did you see her engage in a conversation with Mr. Thomas?
No.
Did you see her talk to him in any way? Are you familiar with Ms. Cluff's attendance at town council meetings?
Yes.
You know that she is active politically in the Dewey-Humboldt town councils?
Yes.
And have you ever filed any information requests yourself?
No, I have not.
Are you aware of whether or not Ms. Cluff has?
Yes.
And where would you file an information request if you were going to do so?
You would file it through the town hall.
And that was at the building that you saw her at on the 16th?
Correct.
Do you know whether or not she filed a request for information that day?
I do not.
You said you didn't notice any, you later found out, later in the evening or later after the 16th, you found out, you heard that Ms. Cluff took a picture of Mr. Thomas, but you didn't witness it yourself, is that correct?
I did not witness the photo, no.
And
I don't agree with the time frame, but I did not witness the photo.
When did you get that?
It was directly that afternoon before I left town hall.
Before you left town hall,
Correct.
but it was after the incident occurred.
Correct.
And you indicated that when you stated that you didn't notice anything off about Mr. Thomas when he was leaving, or when he was done meeting at town hall.
Correct. Prior to him exiting.
Did you find it unusual for Ms. Cluff's car to be in the parking lot of town hall?
I found it unusual she'd be videoing me.
Did you find it unusual that Ms. Cluff was parked in the parking lot at town hall?
No, I guess not.
Thank you. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Coughlin?
No redress, Your Honor.
I have no questions. You may step down and you may stay in the courtroom if you wish.
Your Honor, the only other items that I